for popping in at the very last minute, but Matt might have just said it. I'm not sure.
I was in the last week's link.
Oh, well, that happens to me all the time. So, welcome everybody to another episode of MC Fireside Chats. My name is Brian Searl with Insider Perks and Modern Campground. Excited to be here for our AI marketing monthly session. I was about to say weekly. It should be probably weekly. We should just do it every week and forget about all the other topics. But monthly episode of AI technology and marketing. We got a couple special guests here. Blair Knoll from New Book, and is it Thierry? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can. English is better. French native, but English is easier. The R is some bit challenging. So Thierry is perfect.
Okay. All right. Thank you for taking pity on me. I appreciate it. And then we have Matt Whittemore, a regular guest from Climb Capital Unhitched Management. We got a couple people missing today. Curtis is out. He's having some family things that he's going through. And we wish him all the best. And Kara just texted me, and she has some kind of emergency that's happening too. So it seems like Wednesdays are cursed for us all. I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and my computer wouldn't turn on because the CPU was overheated. So I had to rip apart the whole thing and change the cooling and put thermal paste on the CPU, and that was my morning. So it seems like all of us are having a great time. But how's your week, Matt? What's going on with you?
Good week. We had some snow up here in Syracuse on Monday, and today it's 70 degrees. So that's cool. That's part of living in upstate New York.
It was 20 here yesterday because remember the rest of the world doesn't do the Fahrenheit thing. I don't know what that is, but you guys have just made it up. God bless you. So it was 20, which was warm here yesterday, and it's supposed to snow today, but I haven't gotten a chance to look out the window yet. So
yeah.
But briefly introduce yourself, and then we'll go around the room to Blair and Thierry.
Yeah, so my name is Matt Whittemore. I'm based in Syracuse, New York. I am a director at Climb Capital and Unhitched Management. Doing a lot of different things. You know, we're growing quickly. Going to be surpassing, I think, 40 parks sometime soon. I might be breaking some news there, maybe, but wearing lots of different hats, deep into AI. So I have always looked forward to these chats to see where everybody else is at and throw some ideas at the wall and see what's going on in the industry. But work on some acquisition, some capital raising, some AI, some marketing. So doing a little bit of it all, and it's an exciting time to be in this business.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll dive into AI as always a little bit on this episode a little bit later. I was talking to, I think Robert was on our show last week or the week before, and he's saying you guys got thrown a little curveball with the Claude restricting the usages for OpenClaw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting world that keeps ever changing. Blair, please introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Blair Knoll. I'm the head of solutions architecture at New Book. New Book, for those who don't know, property management software for the outdoor hospitality industry. Been with the company for 8 years in a couple of different roles, but currently as a head of solution architecture. And sort of my role is to obviously meet with prospective and existing clients and sort of understand how we can fit basically our tech stack into the way they do business, but also in any existing infrastructure they might have, which these days involves a significant amount of work around AI and companies adopting it and sort of feeling their way through that, as there's various levels of adoption and rejection throughout the industry. So it's certainly a very interesting and active time within the industry.
Blair, I don't want to say this in front of everybody, so I'm just going to whisper this to you. You're promoting a different company on your background. It's called Storable, not New Book. I just want
so this is the new parent company, and we've got the hang on, we've got the reverse background on, and then New Book. So yeah, a little bit of a branding change. Storable New Book now. We're just sort of the offshoot of the parent company. Bit of a kerfuffle about that in some areas, but basically change of logo. Essentially all the staff, as Matt would know, he talks to the same people. But yeah, different colors. A little bit easier these colors to work with, to be honest. So that's nice. I'm not sure if they suit me better than the old coral, but we'll work on that.
All right, thanks for being here, Blair. Excited to talk a little bit about tech with you. And Thierry, last but not least.
Yeah. So me, I'm just mainly I have two men's activity and a lot, just like everyone, side activities too. Oh yeah, it's good in the right in the right direction too.
We flipped your words around so they can read them.
Yeah, absolutely. We never know. So first, I'm sourcing for developer investor project, all the kind of equipment. It's a part that you can see behind me. So I'm really more oriented equipment, and gradually bringing some some technology as kind of experience. And I also represent some manufacturer to support them in developing their market a bit in certain country like in Europe, in Canada, and so on, to promote them more as a business representative and project representative. Yeah, I mean, it concerned the things, but I'm more on my point. I come from creative industry before being in glamping and outdoor hospitality first. So I just try to bring creativity, but place it on the guest and user experience. How to use technology, but make people not notice it. So, but we try to have fun and to imagine concept. Yeah, creativity is important, and technologies is one of the tools we use.
Yeah, what you're talking about is honestly like a problem that we probably don't talk about a lot in the industry because, well, we don't talk a lot about AI in the industry anyway. We're trying to change that, right, with this show and me blabbing on LinkedIn all the time about AI. But generally speaking, like we don't have that conversation often enough about how tech can go into the outdoor hospitality experience, because by its very nature, I think the intention of outdoor hospitality, and Matt, you can, all three of you can weigh in on this, right? But my thinking is the outdoor hospitality industry is obviously meant to disconnect. It's to be outside by nature, rivers, trees, mountains, stuff like that. And there's just, by default, in everyone's mind who looks at outdoor hospitality and truly appreciates the outdoor hospitality piece of it, and not just the business side without that, right? Everybody who's looked at that altruistically and said, I really enjoy sitting outside and I can enjoy nature and the trees and breathe in the fresh air and all that, is like, technology has no place here. What are you talking about? But if you look at it like you were explaining it, Thierry, like that's the core crux of it, right? Is how do I utilize technology in such a way, whether that's AI chatbots or AI calls, just for an example of one thing, but technology at the campground woven into the accommodations, into the guest experience, personalizing the stay, gathering data to make sure that people are more appreciative and enjoying their stay in the way that they want to before they get there, but in ways that don't put it in your face. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest challenges that this industry faces over the next, well, I think it's going to go really fast, but 10 years, let's call it, right? Is weaving that in there without making it obvious and turning off the guest.
I mean, from my point of view, from my perspective, the thing is that why technology when not needed. It's just like AI. For currently, and I'm a quite creative guy. Currently, I mean, I don't see nothing really happen with AI as a really useful experience for guests. I use AI daily, just like all of us, I believe. But for me, it's quite of the tool. But really, honestly, I didn't find exactly the way to create new experience, or to create really something new for the guest experience. For me, maybe I'm a little bit more traditional, but I like to find, for example, for me, it's more useful. We did that in small project we have for a canvas tent, just like bell tent. I get just little trick for them. We got some feedback from some our clients feeling a little bit insecure because neighborhood, because how how to make more secure in a tent when you just have to open a zipper and feel more secure for your stock, for your stuff. Inside the tent or even in the nighttime, because some guests want to experience glamping and want to experience even camping outdoor, but they feel a little bit uncomfortable, particularly in Southeast Asia, where there is a lot of superstition. They are very sensitive with the notion of ghost and spirit and stuff like this. And so I just got the idea to adapt a little alarm that we use for motorbikes or a motorcycle. You know, when you shake the motorcycle, an alarm starts, and that with a remote control. It's unbelievable how people, with the right storytelling, how people just appreciate this little technology, which is honestly between you and me a little bit sounds to be stupid, but in terms of psychology, that make people and they play a lot to press the remote to close the tent, which is only a zipper at the end. You know, so for me, it's more this aspect. Talking about AI, for me, of course, it's a fantastic tool, and it will be. But in the future, I don't see anything. It just make the management job, the user experience just more quickly if you set the right agent or the right bot that help your job. But I didn't find yet. I'm sure it will come, but I didn't find yet the creative way to use AI to really bring a must to the in terms of experience. Just talking about AI so far, you know. So, but it's really personal point of view. If technology must be a real add-on. So you have the backstage technology, and you have the guest experience. Personally, I mean, I'm really involved as much as I can in the guest experience. I will be happy later to share some idea and some funny things we did with that.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I'm going to disappear randomly during the show, and I want to hear your thoughts. I think you were going to talk there. Just give me 1 second. So I was going to say, like, I agree with you. Like, I think that I can't imagine right now, and I'm deep into AI, how we would want to involve AI in the actual guest experience once they get to the accommodation, once they're on their stay, right? I think eventually there's going to be places like little robots who deliver stuff, or depending on your type of property, drone deliveries. Not everywhere, for sure, there's going to be a place for that. Some people are going to hate it. But right now, from AI specifically, I think the biggest power of AI is personalizing the stay and then allowing your team generally to have more efficiency, more data, to allow them to spend more time with the guest, so they're not spending more time in front of the computer. So the win with the guest is freeing up the human's time.
Totally agree. It's just like it's a office tool. It helps to automatize. It helps to answer faster. It helps to analyze data better and faster. But guys, I will be super happy the day that someone will find the right way. We say, yes, this is the one. But still have it. So after that, it's kind of, you were talking about robotics and stuff like this. Yes, first, it's not adaptable to every place. It takes a good concept to have a good storytelling. Then after that, it's tool. We suggested to some few clients, for example, what we like to create is use technology, but to create some visual experience, some sound experience. For example, we already, because that was a background for me a long time ago, but a mini sound and light show around the tent or in the nature. We create some technical with capture and with sensors and stuff like this, when to wander in a part of the I the camp, of the nature, and then suddenly there is a storytelling. Okay, I used to do that kind of multimedia show before, so I just try not to disconnect about that. And then I'm convinced that AI, we will find a way to more AI. You know, when I'm talking, I'm trying to think, for example, that wandering in the nighttime or in the evening in the camp or on site, and living some visual and auditive experience that maybe you can suddenly interact and the nature start to speak your language. So mostly English or any kind of other language, but human language, and that can be that could be an idea to use AI, but for guest side and for the guest experience and kind of unique things. I'm more oriented. I'm personally more oriented for get than for back office. I'm more in concept than in operation. So.
Sorry, Blair, we were just lagged for a second. Blair, were you going to say something before?
I was just going to say, I think I agree with the fact that it's all ultimately about the guest experience, right? And we had this same conversation when I'd started in hospitality software 20 years ago, where people were like, well, I don't want the PMS or whatever. I want guest, I want that customer service, that personal touch. And it's like, well, you writing out 400 late checkout slips and sliding them under people's door, that's not really what people care about, or people handwriting invoices or things like that. It does free you up to do more of the actual customer service things. And I think once you are particularly at the property where it's woven in properly, you probably, as a guest, not even be 100% sure that it's, you don't notice the difference. It's just a better experience for you, whether AI is doing it, whether it's freeing up the staff member doing some of those jobs. But particularly around the personalization of the stay, I think is spot on, is where people are going to find the most difference. Ultimately, there'll be something that someone will come out with next week at the pace things are moving that I'm just going to say, well, that's brilliant. I didn't think about that before. Like that's really commonly something go along. But we do see we're having that conversation a bit where people are, it's that same a little bit hesitant. Oh, well, the outdoor hospitality is either, yes, we're looking to disconnect. They don't want to see us. They don't want us to be involved. They just want to be left alone. Or ultimately, they do want to be left alone, but at a really high level of service. It's a balance. And just sort of seamlessly, it's like almost back to the old IT guy. If they're doing their job properly, you won't really know if they're doing anything at all from the guest experience. Just that, hey, I had a really great stay and they took care of everything I wanted, and I got offered everything I wanted, and it knew what I needed. But not being as obvious, because we're in sort of the back office, with using whether it be Claude or Glean or whatever we're using this week, to make our lives a little bit easier. It's a little bit more obvious and a little bit more inserted. The other thing is interesting, Brian, when you did get disconnected, I saw Matt's shoulders move. He was ready to just slip into hosting mode almost immediately when you go and watch that back. So
he's got his own podcast, don't you?
Don't be afraid at all if you just get disconnected. He was just very comfortably sliding into that seat.
Mm-hmm. It would have been a better show. I can go away.
No, that's not true. Yeah, really interesting thoughts across the board, and I sort of love that we are on this monthly cadence here, because in this new world of AI, for me personally, a month is an eternity, right? So much changes from each time we get together, Brian, and with everybody else on the show. And so it's an interesting lens. On the side of the guest experience, I definitely echo all the comments with, we are inching our way into having AI in the guest experience in very calculated ways. 2 months ago, I think Bob or I would have given you the same answer, that we'll never have a voice bot or a chat bot interacting with our customers, and we've completely changed our take on that, in that it's a force multiplier. And we've talked about this on the show before, Brian, a couple months back, that right, hospitality is getting your guests the information that they need as fast as possible. So if that's 10 p.m. when your store is closed and they call in to a chat bot or a voice bot and they get that information, that's great hospitality. And I made the comment about how, a month is an eternity. The last couple months, there's been incredible advancements in how well these voice bots are working. And I think every day there's an improvement. So that's a piece of it, right? We were cautious, optimistic that we would do it one day, and then I think we blinked and then the day was here, and we were expecting it to be 12 months from now, and it was 12 days. And where we're hyper focused, I see a few really high leverage areas for AI. There's so many voices in our industry. Some I think are a little bit of a guru, especially like on the acquisition side. It's pitched as high cash flow real estate, and I come from it from a completely different angle, that you don't get into outdoor hospitality for the money, right? That's not the right reason to be in outdoor hospitality. Find another industry. It's all about the guest experience, as you said, Blair, and you have to be in it to provide that. And we have some real downward pressure in our industry. Payroll is way up, cost of utilities way up, and then that creates a very tiny, in your world, Brian, right, tiny marketing budget, right? I don't envy you in selling marketing into the campground industry, because I think a lot of campground owners just resign themselves to having zero marketing budget.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That's why we're not a marketing company anymore. Stop calling me a marketing company.
Fair. You proved the point, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, it's that, and I want you to finish your thought, right? But you're not wrong. It's that and everything else. But like marketing, we got out of because of AI. We want to get more into intelligence, but it's still the same thing. It's new thing that you're presenting to a campground owner that they've never had to spend money on before, or they don't understand, not because they're not capable, but because they're so busy, whether that's a PMS from New Book or a technology from Unhitched Management, or something that we're building with AI or data intelligence, or even marketing. It's a hard sell.
Sure.
It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean I have to pay for email, right? 15, 20 years ago. Like, it's been free. So
a new expense that I've never had to incur before.
Yeah,
and,
sell it to me and convince me, and then it takes people 10 years in this industry to figure out that they need to pay for email, and half of them still have @Gmail addresses.
Yeah, and if you want a wake up call, go into your Claude Code session and do the Claude Code usage command, and see that even if you're at the $200 a month tier, you're probably spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month worth of tokens. So but to finish my thought, smaller campgrounds, so much of our industry is mom and pop, under $500,000 a year gross revenue, even probably under $300,000 a year gross revenue. Those are like very small businesses that there's not a lot of room for error. Your payroll, you've probably discovered in the last few years, has creeped up to 25% of your gross revenue, maybe 30% of your gross revenue, or you live on site and run it yourself, and the profit is your salary, and it's not a huge sum to live off of. So there's the main areas are payroll, right? AI is a force multiplier. It allows you, if employed correctly, to take some pressure off of that payroll cost, maybe get more out of your payroll dollars. To your point about marketing, Brian, probably one of the most mature use cases of AI with automations is in marketing.
Yep.
So it allows your marketing budget to go much further now. And a lot of areas that we're focusing on at Unhitched and Climb Capital is on finance. It just gives you, it's a force multiplier in keeping your eye on expenses, benchmarking, revenue management, all the things that you would have to employ people to do 3 years ago. You need an extra controller, an extra bookkeeper, an extra director of finance to really keep an eye on expense benchmarking and rectifying that stuff. Now we can employ some automation, and throw an agent at it, an OpenClaw instance or whatever. There's a new harness out there like every day, and so that's where my mind is at with it, right? It's selectively introducing it to the guest and employing it directly with the guest in a very calculated way, but it's all the back office stuff. It's finance, marketing, and a lever to get more out of your payroll dollars than you could a couple of years ago.
I think the thing for me is like everybody hears AI, everybody hears artificial intelligence, and then they have their own instant opinion of what that is. Either that's a chatbot, or it's something I'm scared of, or I can't learn it, or my cousin's sister's brother had a bad experience with it, or like it's ruining the environment, or like it's something, right? And I'm not saying that everybody's wrong or everybody's right or everybody's not entitled to their opinion. They are. But I think the problem is we're trying, maybe not we as a whole on this call, right? But there's a lot of pitching of just use AI. And I think if you just step back and you say, just use intelligence, the more intelligence that you have, the better, whether that comes from AI or it comes from a database or it comes from reporting or it comes from, a group like Sage Outdoor Hospitality or a feasibility study or, a management company like Unhitched, or the more intelligence that you have, the stronger that you can make your campground, RV park, glamping resort, period. And so you should be seeking out whatever ways you can to get as much intelligence as you can. What AI has done has enabled, in Matt's case, as he was explaining, with finances, and I don't know what you do exactly, Matt, right? But you share your secrets or not share your secrets, right? But generally speaking, like it is allowed the labor capitalization, the payroll thing that he was talking about, to allow Unhitched Management, Climb Capital to analyze their finances in ways that would help them be more efficient and thus end up downstream 6 ways down that road to serve their guests better, because there's more capital to deploy in other places, more time to deploy in other places. Is that accurate, Matt?
It is accurate. It's I wouldn't say we're at the point of replacing people with AI, right? In our headquarters office, we're not, never say never, and that's not really our goal, but it is starting to think about, we hit a bottleneck in whatever process, the monthly close, because we just onboarded 10 more properties, and the human team is stretched to their limits. And we think, okay, we need to hire another bookkeeper. That's going to be X salary per year. And now we have this little bit of knowledge that we've acquired over the last 6 months or so that could be an agent, right? We could invest $10,000 or $20,000, even if we have to bring in a consultant to build us an agent and implement everything and make it turnkey for us. We're starting to have those conversations. We haven't not hired the person yet, but I feel like we're inching closer and closer with each growth spurt, and with each hiring decision, we're there. And we're still in the mode of, right, we kind of phase it out with our AI strategy. It's short-term goal is let's get everybody like 20 to 30% more efficient with compressing their day-to-day work, which is honestly a really easy goal in my mind in terms of adoption and getting everybody into Claude Code and learning how to work in those systems. It's a little bit of a hurdle to get there, but that's just a mental model switch with the people on the team. I think of the second phase of that is like get everybody like 100 to 200% more efficient, and it's still just a mental model shift, and it's education and adoption and doing those right, doing like hackathons, internally at the company. These are all kind of things that we're exploring that we're really excited about. And right, we're focused in that area, right, of we have a corporate team of 20-ish. AI can make it feel like we have a corporate team of 40 or 60 if we're really adopting it. And honestly, right, my struggle is that I've get all these ideas and I've got 5 different Claude Code terminals going on at once, and my brain cannot keep up with all of the things that are going. So I've started to integrate like AI native project management solutions. I was literally today, I was going to try, saw one on Twitter. It's called, there's one called Paperclip that went kind of viral, open sourced. And then there's one that's kind of based off of Paperclip called Cabinet. And that's agents plus knowledge base. So that's an area that we've been putting a ton of resources, just refining like an LLM knowledge base, a wiki. Great marketing applications there. Eventually, right, you can sit a voice agent on top of it, a chat bot. It's going to know everything about your property, know everything about your company, at least that you want it to. So, we're still very basic with what we're doing, but I think we've opened our minds and opened our eyes to some real exciting levers that we're starting to be able to pull.
Yeah, and back to what Thierry and Blair were saying, right? It's the intelligence layer too. It's not just in the back office. It's the how can the intelligence layer help me understand my guest better? So right now, like you were saying, Blair, like do I have a guest who wants to talk to me, or do I have a guest who doesn't want to talk to me? I've told this story a number of times on the podcast, but just it's a good setting point for this. We went to Ireland end of last year, stayed at this really nice little Airbnb castle. Like it was an older castle. Like it actually looked like a castle. It took me forever to find one of those in Ireland that looked like a castle, and not like the Queen's castle. Anyway, so like we get there, and it's just one tower. It's next to this old farm and this it's just one tower. And there's 3 Airbnbs in there, but nobody else is there. It's just us. We're kind of in the off season in September. And the host is like, you can come talk to me if you want. There's 2 dogs outside that are in the yard. Feel free to open the door and play with them. Just make sure you shut them in when you're done or whatever. If you want to say hi to me, I'm here. Let me know. And I wrestled with it for like we only stayed there a day, but I wrestled with it the whole time we were there. Because I'm like, do I actually want to talk to this woman, or do I want to pretend I'm actually alone in this whole castle by myself? And I ended up not talking to the woman, right? But she was very nice, and she gave me the option to do it. And so I think right now in hospitality, outdoor hospitality specifically, because hospitality generally with hotels has had more data for decades, there's a lot of guessing going on. Who is my guest really? Like, it's easy to see how old they are or their address, where they're coming from. But what did they go through to get here? What was the fuel price they paid? What was the weather when they booked? What made them make their decision to book? How long are they staying and why? What are their kids interested in? What are they like? So there's so much data out there that can be used and supplemented by AI. Like it's not really AI, but it's the intelligence layer that you're able to gather because of the speed of AI that allows you to then service your guests just like hotels have done forever. And so I think that's where you start to change people's perception and experience in outdoor hospitality without them knowing it.
And I think to that point, it allows you to do a lot more with less.
Yeah, going Brian.
But then it from that point of view, it's not just that it allows you to do it faster and save labor. Like we always have talked about a long time at New Book about you got to make data-led decisions when you're deciding, hey, am I going to put in extra pads? Am I going to put in extra take a look at the data, because a lot of the time your gut feels a little bit off. And not only use an example, the other day I was reviewing for a certain region in the US OTA usage, right? And it's that adoption's been very sporadic throughout the industry. So there's a lot of gaps where, well, these guys connect to these 3 channels, but these guys connect to another 3, and they only have one in common, and so on and so forth. And the
no
ability for
actually browse any of those websites. Sorry. Carry on. I'm sorry.
The weird thing is that you only have so much good data, and it's kind of a little bit incomplete. And for a human to sit down and cross-reference all that and figure it out, it was incredibly quick to actually just sort of fill in the gaps and say, well, hang on, here's the order and here's who this person should be connected to, because it can see the links between that. Now, if you're doing that, like 25 years ago, I used to be a revenue manager. To do that manually would have taken an extraordinarily long amount of time. But the other impressive thing is, especially when I was working on a data set that I knew very, very well, it catches things that you don't see. People miss things all the time, right? So even to Matt's point in the finance area and looking at expenses and stuff, the rate at which it can pick out an outlier or something that's a little bit wrong that can save you, hey, if I nip this in the bud and it doesn't fester for 6 months or something along those lines, there's just so many little incremental wins you can have that, as you said, 6 days down, it allows you to spend less money on that part of the budget, and whether that is straight up employing another staff member because I saved that money, or putting more money into marketing, or giving me some time back. It's just those wins that sort of, a domino effect of those wins that give you, I think, room, time, space downstream to invest into whatever you want to invest into, or to give you more time back, or to give you more usage out of your existing staff. It doesn't always, I think quite often, because we are at this early adoption phase in the industry, and there's a lot of, I think, self-styled gurus and people who get up and do talks and just, you're like, that's all wonderful, but what operationally does it do at the end of the day? Sometimes it's not actually doing that operational thing. It gives you just time, money, freedom, or insight, as I said, in the intelligence layer. So there's a lot of different parts to it. And I think as people are starting to appreciate that, people had perhaps been a little bit more fearful of adoption are now starting to jump on board a little quicker.
Thierry, did you have something to
add? Yeah. I mean, I have several thoughts about AI. First, I've placed there where we are in an early stage for that. From my own experience and my own observation, most of the people, they are absolutely not trained to AI. They use it so basically and so in the simplest way possible, and it is not the right way to get the best from AI. I see some different application possible that it will come gradually, obviously, fast or not, but I guess so, is to have AI platform and AI really stout, user friendly for a majority of hospitality and campground runner. First, most of the people are not tech. They are not gig. Definitely not. Even myself, and I'm very comfortable with technology. Sometimes there is a lot of possibility that I don't explore myself. First, I have a lack of time. You must train yourself also. You must. It's quite of the change. So I'm really waiting for for some agent or even application that will make my adoption of AI much more easy and faster for me. I don't have time. Okay, so this is my first thought. My first thought about that. The second thing. Okay, we know we all know that okay, it's going fast. It can collect information faster, and then that might be also a barrier for guests to. Some clients, some guests, they feel uncomfortable to give to technology a part of their preferences, a part of their privacy. In fact, so it's hard to deal with that. To explain your wishes and your expectation to a staff, it's human. It's not recorded, set it, and keeping forever. To give it to an AI, what will be the reaction to that for the guests? We already normally a good operator. We already collect doing well this job. Will already collect the basic information about the test of his client, of his guest. He will know that what time the breakfast, and if we want to have a hard mattress or a soft mattress, all that details that make the clients feel VIP. How will be the perception of a client who will give information to a technology instead of getting to a human? That's something that need to be worked, in my opinion. Also, the positive thing if I see a basic interesting use for agent, it's particularly for small operator, mini resort and stuff. They don't have the stuff. I run my seasoning. My season one also just for making some experience in suburban of Ho Chi Minh. Rainy season is coming, so we are dismantling currently, and we will reopen somewhere else next hot season. And the thing is that we don't want to have 24-hour staff, but it's terrible how many booking I had personally to manage after midnight. I'm sleeping, but I don't want to miss a booking. Having a good agent who can really have a great booking conversation with a potential guest, and then you make sure you ensure the booking potential. Your funnel of sale will be much more efficient than being wake up and in the middle of the night to answer a phone or to leave on the voicemail or send an email, send a message. Obviously, you lose some booking and some booking efficiency. So this is something that AI can, in my opinion, really help and support. For the bigger one, for me, what I see is fantastic assistant tool and even coach. Never mind, even the gardeners, even maintenance people, even maintenance staff, even cook, even everywhere. So the thing is that I don't think that AI will replace. Personally, I think that it would be stupid to replace human, because in our specific industry, people they don't want to talk to machine. They want nature. They want authentic. So
in our industry, you're correct. Yes, in our industry,
but having a receptionist, having a gardener, having a chef, having I don't know, charcoal, supported with an AI agent will be his own assistant. And yes, spending less time to I don't know, prepare the menu or help to imaging, I don't know, new menu, help to learn faster how to maintain this plant or whatever. That sounds very, very interesting to me. I would call that augmented role for the staff, but the staff continue to lead the things. I'm even thinking that to get the best of that, we have two possibilities, or really to have new agent and new application really adapted and easily adaptable for people who are not in technology. My daughter plays AI. She's 16. She plays AI every day. She's kind of a bit obsessive with that, but she doesn't know how to install the driver on my Wi-Fi printer. I have to print for her, So, but for AI, she's super good, So I think that it's a very, very interesting, use of AI. We continue to have the staff, but the staff will be more performant. Will have more time to interact and will be amazingly more creative. But just in conclusion, by a few words, we were talking about data analysis and so on, bookkeeping, and I'm not sure that before long, never mind how fast the technology will evolve, but I'm not sure that humans are really willing to blindly trust even the best AI. Then we still need bookkeeper to check that AI did a good job, because it's gonna be better and better, of course. But if you don't have the knowledge AI used to bullshit. I mean, I'm good in what I'm doing, and I use AI every day. I spend a lot of time to correct AI because I say yes, stop to. Sometimes I insult
Well,
a
you're
bit.
not wrong. Like I think that the thing is people are going to have to get more trusting of it as they use it more. Well, like there's a couple points with what you were saying, and I'm probably going to forget two of them, but one of them that comes to the top of my head now is that just as I've gone through this journey of myself with AI, and I've been all on AI since like 2019, 20. I've been playing with GPT-2. Is just that the more you play with it, the more you learn that you've got to ask it the right questions. You've got to say to it exactly what you want. You've got to steer it back to where you need it to go. I'll give you an example. We released the Outdoor Hospitality Pricing Index today. We're going to release a monthly report. It's going to be like a case Schiller for campgrounds, outdoor hospitality. But that thing took me probably on and off, right? But weeks and weeks to go back and forth. And it's not AI generated, right? But I used AI to code some of the things that helped me gather the data that went into that report. But when I'm going through the methodology of how do we present this data, because we have all the data, you can look at data 10,000 different ways to Sunday and spin up whatever story you want, right? But for this, it's got to be accurate. It has to be correct. There can't be any wiggle room. There's got to be the same methodology every single month. So just going back and forth with AI and AI saying, yeah, this is a good way to do it. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. I've been in this industry for 15 years. That's not a good way to do it. Oh, you're right. Let's do it this way instead, right? Yeah, until you get to like, so you've got to have that intelligence layer of your own that comes from learned experience in whatever you're trying to produce or display or analyze from financial side or whatever else to say this isn't a good idea or it is a good idea. But then be able to take that and say, like, if I'm producing something as important as OHPI or analyzing financials for a campground or whatever else, that I can't just look at it through my lens or my slant. I've got to be able to take the AI and say, this is where I want you to go, but tell me how I can not slant it and tell me how I can do it better or whatever else. So that's number one. And then number two is I think sometimes a lot of the problem that I hear from people when they're talking about AI is they're just overwhelmed by it and they're complicating it too much. And I've learned this too. Like I've had to kind of step back in how I talk to some of our clients about AI. Like Matt, there's like, I'm all in on Claude Code and Claude and all the things that you're doing right. And I've been that way for years. Just at the bleeding edge of technology. But I've started to realize as I've progressed even further and these AI tools keep advancing more and more, that sometimes there's a line where you overcomplicate too many things too much, right? And so we've talked a lot about data and we've talked a lot about intelligence. Look at what's going on in the world right now as an example. And there's lots. We're not going to get into politics, I promise. But gas prices, right? Gas is expensive. Gas is about to go up a whole lot more than people realize if nothing changes because there's no more oil coming from the Middle East. And that's a whole geopolitical discussion we could talk about, but they refine the heavy stuff from the Middle East to turn it into diesel. They don't refine the stuff that comes out of Cushing, Oklahoma into diesel. So it's going to be a problem for the United States, and it's going to be a problem like really quickly in the next few weeks even if it opens back up, because the ships aren't going to get here for like 40 days. But gas prices, right? So see, it's easy for me to go on off a tangent. But so gas prices. So it's very easy. Like this is something that your guests want to pay attention to. They are concerned about. So imagine if you just had an intelligence layer that told you what the gas price was, where they were booking, like where they live, right? Then you were able to tell them, then we were able to figure out the gas price along the route to how they're going to get to you likely. And then the gas price around your park, right? And then you're able to send an intelligent email to somebody that says, hey, you shouldn't fill up halfway here because it's 30 cents cheaper around our park when you get here. Little tiny things like that are not necessarily AI driven, but AI facilitated because they allow people to design systems like that who couldn't do it before, completely change the experience of the guests and their perception of your property. So sometimes we overcomplicate things, I think, when you just have to step back and look at what could make this guest stay better. And
I think going to Terry's initial thing where it's like, no one has time. Like everyone you talk to in the industry, I'm busy, I don't have time. It is one of those things where if I can sacrifice an hour today, does that save me 2 hours every week for the next eternity kind of thing? Will that free up? And I think to the point you made around, feeding it information and understand, like any employee, right? The more context you give it, it's going to help, because you have 15 years of learning. Like, Brian, I'm sure you've got clients that you've had for a very, very long time, and you know that that client absolutely intimately, where you're going to say, well, I know better, but let me feed that information and give me context around what you're asking it to do.
Let me double check.
Yeah, there's always that, or like, hang on, this isn't direct it to where you want to go, just like you would have to with any other employee, brand new employee, right? You got to give them a little bit of context, a bit of understanding. And I mean, for us internally, we've started to use Glean, which has been fantastic, because if you think of an organization like us, the amount of emails internally, the amount of support tickets internally, the amount of knowledge base articles, Slack chats between support and development teams and things going back, that's been an amazing accelerator. But look, not everyone's going to have the ability to do that, but even the most simple thing, that at most campgrounds you either get the same couple of emails or phone calls a day around FAQs. You get to ask the same 10, 20 questions for 90% of your guests. If you can plug, again, to your point, if you can plug something in to go, hey, what actually are the most frequently asked questions for the last 10 years of my email, or whatever it might happen to be, and produce a nice FAQ list to sit on your website. One, that's helpful to the guest. Two, it's more accurate than probably what you could pull yourself. Again, it doesn't really feel like AI to the guest or anything like that, but it allowed you to get more accurate data and present something that's going to be useful to the guest in front of them on your website.
For sure. All right, let's spend the last few minutes here asking each other questions. So we'll start with you, Thierry. So Thierry, the way we do this is we kind of let you choose. There's not a lot of guests today, but between Blair and Matt, do you have a question for either one of them you'd like to ask?
A lot. a lot. It just, for me, it was quite the first time. Nice meeting you guys, by the way.
Anything you want to know, Matt or Blair?
It's something like 2 a.m. And you stuck me with AI. A part of my brain is really busy on AI. I was just thinking that probably in the very next future, from a certain level of size, in hospitality, but just like in every company, it will take to have a new role, a new position with for the AI specialist, the AI expert. Just like the same, we have an accountant, we have a marketing department. We're gonna have an AI department. I believe that, because even that, sorry, it's not a question. It's just a comment. Also, it's not given to everyone to be able to formulate the question accurately, to fix the context and to fix the role, and how to hack for the AI. I had to learn how to ask questions and how to write a good prompt, and I'm still learning because it's evaluated, of course. And I think that not everyone will be. We can equip all a full staff of an organization. Not everyone will be able to will be able to handle this the right way, to have accurate information, accurate treatment. Never mind that is called for analyze for, as you say, find a way to have information on the way. And then I think that probably a prompt engineer, as they call they don't need to be engineer, they need to be good in the logical. So probably this is something that we shall start to consider in our business, to have really someone or a staff member more trained with the right logic for that, or having our AI specialist.
All right,
sorry, that was not a real question.
All right, Matt, you want to try? You got a question?
Yes, I have a question. I have a question for Blair. So we've been fortunate to obviously be new book partners, and love that, growing that relationship. We've had the opportunity.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but are you also a storable partner or just a new book partner?
We're not in the storage industry yet, but never say never.
It's the same thing. It's on a shirt, man. There's a new logo. There's a trick question.
Yes.
Sorry.
You tricked me.
But
yeah, so we've been fortunate to connect with some other more I'd say advanced technologically other new book clients and partners that have really opened our eyes to the API, and that's like a whole new world, right? With Claude Code at your disposal or whatever you use, tapping into all of the endpoints that are available with all these different APIs. And I haven't dove in yet, but I've heard you can do some amazing things and get really deep and really get control over your data through the New Book API. So I guess what are some of the more interesting use cases you've seen, endpoints, data driven things that you've seen some of your more advanced clients?
And I think
doing?
that's not all software I don't think is perhaps as open as we are. We've always had that sort of open REST API. There's been some amazing where people are skipping. It used to be, well, I'm going to use that to then create some sort of data lake, and then I'm going to plug in whether it be Power BI or Tableau, or it's people just skipping that entire middle step, right? It's actually quite impressive, just the standard hospitality knowledge that's even built into something like really basic, like free Gemini kind of thing. Like someone I was working with in our office the other day, I'm like, okay, so I'll just explain to Claude this and that, and he's like, no, do so that, like, that's forgetting Sarah Marshall, but just do less. Yeah. It already knows, right? You don't need to over explain it. If it's on the internet, it knows it already, right?
Yeah.
So literally just skipping to that, here's my data source, here's what I want to know, and just that whole creating that data lake and then creating those reports where then someone would have to read and things like that, just skipping straight to the endpoint is quite, you got to have a little plugin so it can produce bits and pieces, but it is really remarkable to think about how much time that used to happen. The other thing that's really impressive is if you have a partner on another system, whether that be like Thierry was talking about, a hardware system or an access control system, if they also have the same thing, or a finance system. Sometimes we'll come across a client who will have a bespoke piece of software, whether they've got their own little CRM they've built out, or it just happens that they use a, I don't know, point of sale or access control that only exists in a certain state because it's just a local provider. Just the ability to write integrations at an incredibly fast clip. Like we've seen, look, Claude really in the last 4 months has taken some staggering leaps forward kind of thing. You always sit there and go, oh, what would it look like in the next 5 years? Whatever I imagine in the next 5 years tends to happen in the next 3 months, right?
Yeah.
I can imagine a world where not that long, where if you have 2 pieces of software open and you're on a call and someone says, well, do you have an integration with this? And you don't, probably by the end of your phone call, you might be able to have one, right? It's not actually that hard to perceive that happening, and possibly even now. Like I think it was 2 episodes of this round, Brian, you showed, and it doesn't, the speed of which it could produce the code when I think you asked it to do a little iOS app, incredibly quick. So as these things, which I think is really tip of the iceberg. So I think that where you've got your LMM or you've got your models or your agents starting to hum the way you want, it will be just solving problems for you that might have taken months or weren't financially viable before, or things along those lines, or just like, hey, look, this exists for one person, when sometimes you've got, limited development resources. It just allows you to scale up. So that, and just skipping straight to your endpoint. Like I quite often have people still come to me and go, oh, can you produce a report in CSV that has all these columns to it? And then you find out that they grab that and they import that into this system, and then they import that into a pivot chart, and then it ends up in Power BI, and then it ends up in a dashboard. And it's just like, just skip to the end. Yeah. And it's sometimes even reminding myself, like we work with little projects internally, and it's just like, well, why did I stop halfway? That solved my problem. That's great, but I can go further. So
Right.
I think that's really interesting, and there's a lot of people doing some great stuff about that. Even though with our clients, they'll just ask and they'll get the endpoints and they'll sort of intimate what they're working on, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on there?" And they're like, "We'll show you later," because they want to get a leg up and a head start on everyone else. So people aren't always willing to share with you, which is fair enough. That's fair enough, but it is very, very interesting in seeing what people are doing with that. I think now people are really realizing the possibilities.
Yeah.
I'll give you a free one, Matt, with New Book's API, if you want one.
I do.
We built this for a couple clients. I think it's like first one was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Housekeeping, automated AI with New Book, right? So you can, because they have all those endpoints, you know all the departures and all the, like when people are actually leaving, right? And you know all the occupancy. So you can take those APIs and you can put them together in an automation, and you can build something super crude in Zapier, or you can build something really nice in Claude Code.
Yeah.
That actually then, you know, the dimensions of your cabins, you know, the floor plans, you know how average time it takes the housekeeping staff to clean them already. You know what your schedules of your housekeeping staff are. Put all that stuff together, put it together with an API from New Book, and then a week before you can automate the creation of a schedule for your housekeeping staff. And then the day of, you can just see if anybody else extended or anything else by pulling the data live from New Book, and you can adjust the schedule last minute for those people. And boom, you've got your housekeeping schedules. It's like, as I understand it, it's like a couple hours per property that people are spending on this stuff sometimes.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Back in like traditional hospitality, like hotels and things, that's your housekeeping supervisor used to spend a day of their week getting a roster sorted, which to your point, Ryan, Brian, could at any moment, a couple of late stay extensions, an extra back-to-back booking comes in, the whole thing was thrown into chaos and have to be redone kind of thing. The rate and speed at which you can then, freeing up some people, getting a better experience, being able to turn those rooms over faster. It's just that snowball effect of, if you can make things more efficient, you can do more with less.
All right, we are over by a couple minutes, so I'm sorry, Blair, I didn't get to give you a chance to ask a question, but final thoughts, Blair, and then tell us where they can find more about Storable New Book if they're interested.
Look, thanks very much for having us on. Appreciate being able to come and have a chat. More New Book, if you go visit newbook.cloud, whether you're looking for a PMS or just some industry chat and discussion, we do a whole bunch of different things there. I would say as well, there's probably odds a fair few New Book clients sitting on here. Certainly come and either speak to me or your customer success manager. If you are looking to open up that API and you want to see what you can sort of do and where you can throttle up, there's many companies that provide these services, like Brian. But there is also a fair bit you can do internally. I would say don't have too much fear about it. A lot of people are terrified sometimes in the industry about just get in, just have a go, just start using it. It's not as scary or as difficult as you think, and it actually is getting easier every single day.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Blair. Terry, final thoughts, and where can they find out more about your Creative International?
I mean, it's infinite. It's infinite. I mean, the thing is that we now are almost at the set that just think about something and just do it with AI support. It's I don't know. It's unbelievable how how it opened a world of possibilities, and everything is to be invented. Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I don't know exactly how to conclude that, because in fact, for me, it's not. I mean, we don't conclude. We just open some doors, and we don't even know how many doors behind this door we are opening now. So it's fascinating of possibility, and definitely super exciting. And yeah, what is interesting is just got an idea and ask AI how you can build it. Sometimes it will be complicated, but sometimes it will be very simple to implement in few hours. No need to go on super all the ID we exchange was just practical at the end, and that's very interesting.
And
that's my thought.
Where can they learn more about? Where's your website? Where can they learn more about Creative International?
We currently source worldwide many of almost of the best solution, because I personally believe that there is a type of equipment and the type of accommodation, dome, safari tent, and all that stuff that are not suitable for every site, are not suitable for every investor or operator. So we try to bring everything and just kind of a one-stop source. And this is a visible part. Never mind dome. We go in a very luxury villa, also luxury tented lodge, and we source directly from manufacturer, because we want to work direct factories and to adapt according the project, according client wish. And beside that, there is all the technology aspect also, technical, because we serve event also. So it's kind of a one-stop source, and maybe soon we will integrate some AI tools. We're thinking about some stuff, but always thinking not about the biggest investors or biggest operator. I try just to serve the small one, SMEs. We doesn't have the same resource to implement or to develop their project too. So this is it.
Really appreciate it. Matt, any final thoughts, and where can they learn more about Unhitched and Climb Capital?
You can find us at climbcapital.com or unhitchedmgmt.com. We'll be at all the conferences coming up. At least somebody from the team will be at each of the conferences. You gonna be in Florida, Brian?
Yeah, I'll be in Florida.
Nice. I'll see you in Florida then. We're actively acquiring. We're actively adding to the management portfolio. And if you're looking for help with management of a campground, or looking to invest in the space, or looking to exit, if you're an owner, give us a call. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me. You can find us on the website, like I said, unhitchedmgmt.com, climbcapital.com.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of MC Fireside Chats. If you're not sick and tired of hearing of me and my cute little dog here, then you can see us more. We'll be on Outwired in about 45 minutes, something like that, with Scott Barr. We're going to be talking about the Outdoor Hospitality Pricing Index, the data that went into that, the methodology, and some obviously AI news and whatever comes across Scott's brain, which is usually something really smart and way better than me. If not, we'll see you next week on MC Fireside Chats. Take care, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Definitely keep in contact. Bye.